Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're driving the C8 convertible. So if you follow the channel, you know that we've driven the coupe a couple times. We've done a full review, point of view driving like this, and now we have the convertible. So the convertible weighs a little more than the coupe. Still got the same 6.2 liter naturally aspirated engine. Of course, it's raining when I get the C8 Corvette, so I've been asked to drive with the top up, and obviously to go carefully because the roads are are slick. Now this car is, I love the C8. I've owned 3 Corvettes, not a C8 yet, but this is something I would really consider buying. So the sound is really good. I love that it's mid-engine. The car handles really, really well. If you're used to front-engine Corvettes, I think honestly you will love the mid-engine of the C8s. Mid-engine are my favorite cars, even better than so much torque, even better than rear-engine cars. That's a secret. I definitely love the mid-engine cars the best, like the Cayman, the Boxster, and now the C8 Corvette, the NSX. How can I forget the NSX? All right. Now the steering wheel, as you can see, has got the flat bottom. I'm still not crazy about the shape of this steering wheel. The roads are really slick here. It just started raining, so. I'm still not crazy about the steering wheel. I think they'll make it round at some point. I know why they did it, so you can see the gauges better, but I think you could get away, just like the 2005 Corvette, they changed the steering wheel for 2006. I think at some point, maybe on the Z06 or the E-Ray, we'll see a different steering wheel. Now, unlike past Corvettes, even the C7, this car really puts the power to the ground. If you're used to past Corvettes where they struggled to put the power down, even the Grand Sport that I reviewed a couple years ago, C7, really struggled to get the power down, and the Z06, you know, was that times 10. And again, this is the base model, not the Z06. But there's just another level of power here, and it all goes to the wheels. And this is a rear drive car, and that's what makes it so phenomenal. So my perfect spec car is a mid-engine rear drive. Now, I would love that this is a stick shift, but don't worry, my friends. This dual clutch is very, very good. It really impresses me. Was my McLaren 570S and say a 992 Porsche PDK better? Yeah, but this is still better than most out there. And honestly, it's a lot more fun than having a torque converter automatic, at least in my eyes. Now we're gonna pull over. We'll do acceleration on the highway, then we'll pull over to check out the exterior and interior of the car, and then we'll drive back. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, figures we're stuck behind a dump truck. If you like these kind of videos, remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I post multiple videos a week, and you won't want to miss it without the notification bell. Like and share these videos so your channel can grow, and as always, leave a positive comment below. All right, he's not going our way. That's fantastic. All right. This car is so powerful. I can't wait till the Z06 and E-Ray come out. Now, this is a terrible, terrible bumpy road, but the car actually handles the bumps really well. Now, the old Corvette would have, you know, bumped into this guardrail here, but with this car, it actually does really, really well. I love the heads-up display on this car. My 02 Z06, which was a C5 variant, had a heads-up display, and they brought it back again, which is great. All right. The dual clutch does really, really well. I'm driving in manual mode, so I actually have to do the shifting. Most people would probably drive in automatic mode. It will shift for you. It's a little more laggy. It's a little more relaxed. So whether I'm driving this or another car, I always put it in manual mode. This car actually, like most Corvettes, it actually gets good gas mileage on the highway. It has overdrive gears. Now, when you first hit the gas pedal, not that much happens. You really got to get higher in the RPM. Now, the only downside with this car is the red line is 6,500. And to me, that's a big downside. But that's going to be fixed in the That's going to be fixed in the other variants of this car. Now let's see, if we come to a stop, does it downshift for us? Yes, it does. All right, so we'll just have to wait a little bit here. Beautiful, beautiful interior, which we'll go over in a second. It's very wet, so we got to go nice and easy. It's pouring. Figure I get the C8 Corvette when it pours. We should have a lot of cool videos coming to you, including a M4 manual. So make sure, you won't want to miss that. So do me a favor and hit that notification bell. All right, so we're going to pull in here and we'll take a closer look at the interior. Windshield wipers work. Now, my old Corvettes were scary in the rain. This is so modern that nothing to worry about here. All right, so let's look around the car. It's a beautiful looking car. Now the convertible will cost you more money. It's the same horsepower, weighs a little bit more. We have steel brakes here. As you can see, this costs about $7,000 more than the equivalent coupe. Now the downside, the biggest downside that I see with the convertible is you can't see the engine. So you want to show off your engine like you can in the coupe, you can't do that for the convertible. Sounds really good, this car. Beautiful color, really a sharp looking car. All right, so what we'll do now is we'll go inside and I'll show you a couple things on the interior. What do you think of these stripes? Let me know in the comments below. You got a pretty deep trunk. I'm supposed to keep everything closed because it's raining. They don't want to get anything wet, which I understand. Really cool seats. You really got to go up to a 2LT to get these seats, a 2LT, or you can obviously get them with a 3LT. There's that steering wheel that I was talking about before. Let's get in the car because it's raining. Here's the key. So pretty cool key. It's got all your functions here. How do you do the convertible? Well, you do it with these buttons here. So this is top up, top down, and that's that window. So you can have this window down for sound. Unfortunately, it's raining and they made us do that. There's your backup camera. We'll go over the camera. So if you get at least a 2LT, and let me just make sure I got the key. So you got two cup holders here. You can have the camera. So this is the camera, which looks amazing actually. You gotta need at least a 2LT to do that. And then this is the regular. I like the regular, that freaks me out a little bit, but let's keep it on. And here's all your climate controls, your heated seats, cooled seats, all your functions. Now when you see pictures, this looks bigger, but it's actually pretty small. This is your dial that does the mouse. Every time I hit the dial, somehow the radio turns on, so I can't do that. Here's your paddle shifters. They're nice and big. Nothing special. They're plastic, but it's pretty cool. You have all kinds of different screens here you can go into. You have your cruise control. You can go different menus here. Let's see. So we can go for touring mode. Your own mode that you can program, weather mode because it's raining. Snow mode. And we'll put it in, we'll drive it in sport mode. So sport mode is, I think, the way to drive this car for sure. Parking brake is down here, it's electric. So we'll take that off and then we'll go back to drive. Now, if you want to shift manually, you got to remember to press this manual button. So let me see if I can lower the fan here, probably even shut it off. All right. We had the defroster going. All right, so now we're in manual mode. Your windshield wipers, nice and big, and there's two of them, unlike a Lotus. See, there's that camera. See that? So that's the real view. And then that's the camera view. So let's try the camera view. And you saw where that camera was. All right, so it's pouring even harder now. We're gonna do in manual mode always. We'll get back on the road. Now the road is saturated, so there is a wet mode. You know what, let's try it in wet mode. What the heck, since we have the car. There's a track mode. So the track mode is really the way to drive this car, because the track mode, well, let's put it in weather. The track mode gives you the Formula One type instrumentation. I really don't like that camera, so I'm gonna keep that. Sorry, guys. All All right, this road is really bumpy, so we have to go slow. So again, $7,000 more than the equivalent coupe. Now, you don't have to deal with the minutia. You're gonna have less trunk space, obviously, but you don't have to deal with taking that top off. Sometimes you just at a light, it's a sunny day, you wanna put it up or down. Maybe there's a diesel dump truck in front of you, you don't wanna breathe that, you press the button. A lot easier than the inconvenience of doing the top. My Corvettes, I had a C5 Z06, so obviously there was no top, but the other Corvettes I had the target top. You know, it's just bulky. Some of the other ones, like the C4, you actually had to unscrew it with 4 like Allen type screws. All right, so now we're driving in wet mode. The road is saturated. Figures the one day a year I get a Corvette, the road has to be saturated. All right, so wet mode will give us some traction here. We're gonna get off and turn around. Very smooth, very comfortable, really, really good car. This can easily be a daily driver. Now in the Northeast, here you definitely need snow tires, but I wouldn't fret it, I think you'd be fine. The traction control in this car is so sophisticated, I really don't think it would be an issue. All right, now we will head back. As we see, as we go down, it puts us into first gear automatically, so you don't have to downshift to first. That could be good or bad, because sometimes you don't want it to downshift to first, but it does do it very smoothly. So I feel on wet mode here, we're not getting the full traction, but that's okay. We need to save the car for the next journalist, and I use that term loosely. So now let's see how she does. Slippery mountain road. But this is probably the first all-weather Corvette, I would say. The traction control is pretty superb here. I feel confident driving it in the rain, which I didn't in the Corvettes that I've owned. Power gets to the ground. It's a little noisier in here, obviously. More sound deadening would have added more weight. This car, of course, is a little heavier than the convertible, but it hides its weight pretty well. I really, after driving the coupe several times and then driving this, I don't really notice the weight difference of the convertible, which I definitely notice in a lot of other cars. So what does that mean? It just means the car's more electronic, that it hides that difference in weight. But this can definitely be a daily driver. You really just need, you know, living up here in the Northeast where I live, you definitely need winter tires. Even if it's not snowing, it's always icy every morning when you're going to work, or every evening, like say when I'm playing hockey. The rear end, I'm not that crazy about the design. I think, you know, they'll change that for future iterations. I think the car to get, money no object, if you can get it at MSRP, which I doubt that you can, would be the new Corvette. The new E-Ray seems very interesting as well. I don't think that you're going to be able to touch those cars, especially the Z06. Here's a bumpy part. See, it handles the bumps really well. That would upset my old Corvettes or Mustangs that I had. So here, you really don't have to worry about that. So we're driving in wet mode, so it's more conservative with the traction control and the stability control. I could feel it. I feel when I accelerate, I'm not getting the full power. It's kind of being held back a little bit. The brakes are very good on this car. The ones on this car are steel. I just feel better with that rear view mirror because I'm not looking like what I feel as a postcard in the picture, you know? Very smooth riding car, very predictable handling. I used to track my Corvettes all the time, autocross them, track, you name it. And they got, you know, they get a little sketchy and out of hand, like to oversteer, like to understeer when you, you know, really get on the car hard. I feel like this car has much higher limits and definitely more confidence inspiring. And if you don't want, you know, there's a big contingent on these cars that does not like the mid-engine. And, you know, give it, I'm going to fix my hat there. Give it a try because it's really, I think it's superior to the front engine layout. You know, gone is the muscle car, and now you have more of a sports car, just like every car, just like the new M3 and M4. You know, every car is becoming more electronic, much more capable where, you know, you don't need much driving skill to drive it. There may be a slight learning curve here if you've never had a mid-engine car before, but I promise you, once you go to mid-engine, you're gonna stick with mid-engine. Once you go mid-engine, you can't go back, unless of course you go rear-engine. So I think the C8 really knocked it out of the park. You know, my only complaints are you can't get one for MSRP. The 6,500 RPM redline, which will be rectified, I'm sure, in the Z06 with the flat plane crank. I think that redline, at least at the time when I'm filming this, is going to be over 8,000. And great car. If you can get one for anywhere near MSRP, buy it and drive the heck out of it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.